Harp is one of those quirky instruments where tiny details in your score can make a big difference in how easy it is to play. If you still feel new to reading harp music and working out the notes of a new piece takes time, it's worth taking a look at your score and check how friendly it is. Hi there, I'm Zuzanna, a harpist and a harp teacher behind the Coffee Break Harp. Today I'll share with you a few tips for a quick fix of your music so your score is as friendly as it can be. What gives me most confidence about any new piece is a nice, clean score where I can clearly see what's most important, the notes. I want any extra information to be kept to the minimum and nicely organized. This can be a little bit of a challenge if you're like me and you like to write a lot in your music, but we will get to that in a second. These days I mostly read music on my iPad so I can keep these things in check easily, but a few years back I was still reading traditional paper scores. When you look at my collection of music, you probably can't really tell how much I use them, and that's because whenever I was learning a new piece, I was making a clean, new copy that I used then for learning, so I could keep the original clean. And then whenever my markings and the score started getting a little bit out of hand, I could make a new copy, leave any markings that I didn't need anymore in the old score, and move the important ones to the new copy. So here are Debussy's Dances, the original score, a copy, and I know for sure that this was not the first one that I used, it looks a little bit too clean, then a second copy, and the latest version that I've got now on my iPad, with just the most essential markings. Now, I do realize that this particular score may not look friendly at all. Even with only the essential clean markings, it is still a lot of notes. If you're feeling uneasy about a score like that, make sure you stay with me until the end of this video and I'll show you how to befriend this kind of music. One other note, when you're making an extra paper copy, it may be worth enlarging your music a bit, or cropping the margins if you work on a tablet. When text is larger and easier to read, we all feel better, and most of all, our eyes. Something to think about. Usually, a new score won't have too many markings, but it's worth taking a look to see if there aren't any that you actually don't need. For example, some arrangements out there are written with both pedal and lever harp in mind, and they may include both pedal and lever markings. It is a good idea to accept the fact that you won't play two different harps at once and only keep the markings that are relevant to you. And if you plan to play it on another harp, you can always make a second copy where you keep only the markings that matter for your other harp. If you keep seeing symbols that aren't meant for you to follow, then you have to train your brain to ignore them, which, believe it or not, does require some effort, both to ignore these markings and to find the ones that you're after. This is also why I don't recommend writing the letter names in the music that you use for playing. It may feel that if you keep seeing the letters next to the notes, you will eventually connect the two, but the reality is that when your brain is in reading mode, these letters and the notes are two different things. Just like you can't switch between the two harps within one song, your mind will not be very keen to keep switching between these two systems. If you want to learn how to read music more confidently without needing to write the letters in, make sure you check out my free video training that will show you how to recognize the notes with more ease. I will put a link to this and to other resources in the description of this video. Many harp scores include helpful fingerings and brackets. One important thing is to make sure that they reflect what you're actually doing on the harp. If you're using a different fingering, remove whatever has been printed and write yours in. Anything that is not essential should go, so you don't end up feeling distracted. Even if you feel like you will remember that you've changed the markings and you're used to your score by now, your mind works differently when it's under pressure. For example, when you're performing for someone else or you're playing a piece through. If you hesitate in that split of second when you have to choose a finger and play a note, it can really trip you up. So make sure your markings are clear, up to date, and that they also include rescue points that will help you get back on track if you make a mistake. If you've never heard of rescue points, do have a look at this episode where I show you how to put them in and how to work with them. These really are a game changer. Before I tell you all about my final tip for dealing with particularly difficult and unfriendly scores, I'm curious to hear from you. Do you know what makes you feel uneasy about your music? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and we'll do our best to help. Now, if you've done all this work and your score still doesn't give you friendly vibes, maybe because there's a lot of notes or it still looks very busy, even with just the essential markings, there is one other thing you can do so you can feel better about the whole thing. With any piece you learn, you gotta start somewhere. So pick a section where you'll start, just a few bars, and create a version of a score that will show you just this. You can use an additional paper copy and a pair of scissors, like you'll see me doing in one of the earlier videos, or on a tablet you can just wipe out everything else until later. Now, if you want to learn more about how to become friends with all your scores and read music with confidence, make sure you follow the link in the description of this video to get access to more resources on reading music. Also, make sure to subscribe Coffee Break Harp so you get notified about new episodes, and if you found this video helpful, leave a like and let me know in the comments. I'll see you here very soon. Take care for now. Bye!